questions about that song? About him?
There's a question about can you talk a little bit about the guitar there?
Yeah. Okay, Jackson Dominion, and this. I started working with Jackson. I was playing. It was like around the New American Gospel era. It was like around the turn of the century, around 2000 or so, and I had this real beat up, like cheap Jackson V, and as the story goes, and is the truth, my sweat, like I sweat a lot on stage, like I just sweat a lot, and it's really, really corrosive. Like every tech I've ever had, God, your sweat is so just destroys instruments. So this is before I had a tech. So my bridge right here was literally like rotting away. It's just like green and corroded. And so I actually called Jackson and said, "Hey man, I'm in this band. We're doing these tours or whatever, and you guys, I'm kind of blowing through bridges. You guys think you could send me some parts? Like, can I get some cheap parts from you?" And they're like, they didn't actually have those parts on hand, and they checked out what I was doing, and they just sent me a guitar. They sent me a new Rhodes, which was really, at that time, great. Great now, you know what I mean? But it was like I needed it, So it's so backwards, because when you're like in a small band and you don't have money, you got to buy everything, and then you get in a big band, and you start making real money, and you make a living at it, and they give you everything for free. It doesn't make sense. It should be the other way around. So I played that Rhodes for a while, and then I got Jackson's Sweet Tone, which if you've ever seen like the Laid to Rest video, I was playing that one for a while, and I was doing that on the Ozfest. And that's when once I started playing that, they had discontinued that model, but I really liked a lot of things about it. So we started talking about doing a signature model. So a lot of the elements from that are in this, but a lot of Jackson guitars are known for being real angular and kind of like metal, real metal. And as I've been saying, all day, like I'm in a metal band and I have a love for metal, but like I'm really like as much into blues and classic rock and country and all kinds of other stuff. So I really wanted a guitar that was more traditional. So I kind of blended like a Telecaster, a Jaguar, elements of a Les Paul, like just pieces and concepts from more classic, like vintage style guitars that I really liked. And this is what we came up with. And so it's chambered. It's got, sort of the melted Telecaster design. People love it or hate it, Unfinished neck, just because I like the way that feels better. Like, again, I sweat. A lot of the stuff is just practical. I sweat a lot. Got a big glossy neck. I'm going to be sliding around on it. This is tackier. It lets me plant harder. I don't know if you guys notice when I play that too. I do weird stuff, like, I don't know what this has to do with the guitar, but a lot of times, like, my hands are kind of small, and I'll do a lot of stretches and stuff, so I'll bring my whole hand around, and a lot of times I'll play the neck like a piano almost. Like, I don't actually implement my thumb, but, traditionally people play with your thumb planted on the neck, and I'll wind up, for songs like Descending, I'll play it like that. Like, you'll see pictures live or whatever, or watch me do it now, like, my thumb's not playing. And I'll do the muting that you would normally do with your left hand. Like, I'm real big on, like, if you watch me play, you'll see my palm, my right hand going up and down, because I'm actually, like, the same way you would on a piano with those pedals. Like, I'm muting those strings in a way that I can just let what I want ring through, and, my hand's over here, and then I'll switch back to planting. So a lot of times, I don't know what that has to do with the design, but a lot of times, weird elements of your playing, will come through in the design of your instrument, like having a tacky neck and that kind of thing. So the neck's a little, on mine, they're a little smaller. Like, some of the things that they sell, like Jackson, most people that buy Jackson want jumbo frets. My instruments don't have jumbo frets. Again, it's just a different feel thing, I guess, because my hands are smaller or whatever. Like, I just like the feel of a thinner gauge fret wire, that kind of thing. But, so yeah, that's the Jackson Dominion, and it's one of the things, I stole from the...
Coil taps with you right there?
Yeah, these are coil taps, so each of these pickups can be made a single coil, which I don't really use for Lamb, honestly, but again, when I'm at home, it's good for clean stuff, it's good for, like, twangier, kind of, just like that kind of, like... You know what I mean? That just has, like, that. That's all in single coil. Just gives you options, I just was, like, all about trying to make a guitar that has as many tone variations as possible. So I'm really proud of it. It's a nice instrument, you know, especially for the money. I think it's one of the more diverse instruments you can get, really, on the market for the money. So there's my shameless plug for my Jackson guitars. And if you buy one, I get $50.
What do I get?
You get a nice guitar.
Can we hear Visitation?
I'm not up on that one right now, man. We haven't played it since the studio. So again, that's another one of those that like I tracked it and then we never played it again. So,
understandable.
Yeah.
How about now you've got something to die for?
We can do Die For. I can start.
Because I won't be at your show tonight.
Oh, really?
Like,
All right. Well, here it
I
is.
have a daughter, and I'm like, oh, I just want to hear that one song.
All right. Well, you're about to.
All right.